was sick all last week, so I wasn't able to be in community. I was hunkering down and really looking forward to being here tonight. So thank you all for being here. My name is Joe, and this is the Sit, Feel, Heal Meditation Group here at the Sit, Feel, Heal Meditation Center. Really happy that you're here. Restrooms are towards the front of the room, along with tea, water, some blankets. If you want to do hot meditation, but make yourself comfortable. And we usually start with a little arriving meditation. It's kind of a selfish maneuver here. I like to do a little arriving meditation for myself, and then we'll get into the little topic of the night, take a stretch break after that, and then get into some longer meditation. And there's always time for questions and reflection. So anytime anything comes up, you want me to clarify or you want to express your heart, we'd love to hear it. So yeah, I think that's all the things for now. So let's just settle in and arrive. Especially if it was your first time in the room, just taking a moment to look around. Looking around the room, and if you make eye contact with somebody in the room, you can give a head nod. You don't have to look away. Yeah, it's happening there. And you can rest your eyes somewhere in the room if you want to leave your eyes open. It's totally an option. Or gently closing your eyes. Whether your eyes are open or closed, we notice. We notice the lingering energy of the day, of the week, of the life. We notice just because we're taking time to pause doesn't mean the mind follows suit. So the mind might be restless, or the mind might be ready to settle. We notice. And without pushing anything away or trying to make anything different, you just check into what else is being experienced here in this moment. This body in the seat, cushion on the floor. Maybe this is first time in the day that you've really been able to sit and check in. So maybe just allowing yourself to be held. Noticing the sounds coming and going. Noticing this breath coming in, going out. Taste, smell, seeing, even with the eyes closed, there's shapes, there's colors. And you've arrived. This is what this moment has to offer. And tonight, maybe throughout the whole evening, you can remember a place in your direct experience, whether it's the breath, something you see, the sounds, or sensations of the body sitting. Place that you can reconnect with when the mind is drifting. Story, planning, memory. Without judgment, we notice and we return. Feet, the seat, the sounds, or the breath, something you see. Or if you're getting stuck in an emotion, you can connect, seeing the breath, the movement. See if maybe tonight you can orient to what feels good, if only for a moment. When we arrive here tonight, we may have an intention. What do we want to? What do we want to cultivate? What do we want to achieve tonight? What would you like? What is your desire tonight? Let that come to mind. Let it rest in your heart. And let's hear it out loud. Sure. Yeah, beautiful. Make it come to life, y'all. Who else? Nobody wants anything. All right. Mm, relief. Mm, compassion. Tranquility. Keep them coming. Mm, recentering. And there was, yeah, relief from back pain. Ooh, get comfortable. Get a pillow. Yeah. Spaciousness. Yes. Be so. May your deepest desires be met without expectation. And maybe just resting in the knowing that just from walking through these doors, or just the idea to get here tonight, you're on the path to these desires, these healthy desires, spaciousness, compassion, connection, coming back to the breath. We'll just be invite you to do 3 breaths together. So on the count of 3, invite us to breathe in through the nose and just let the air fall out the mouth. So on 3, 1, 2, 3, in, let it go. Another one, slowly in, fill up the whole body, let it go. Really push the air out on this one. One more big in, all the way to the top. Hold it, and on the out breath, make some noise. Nice. So I am having some technical difficulties, and I want to make sure you all hear me in the back. Katie, or do we have any batteries? E-batteries? You know? Anybody know? Anybody know? Anybody got any batteries on them? I can talk pretty loud, but I know it gets kind of washed. Oh, I got some right here. I think these will work, Katie. I think. We shall see. Beautiful. Love hearing your desires. And I'm just curious if, is there any holdouts? Anybody want to say them out loud? Well, right here, I got time. Got some work to do here. Anybody got a good Buddhist joke? Or a good? I got a Buddhist joke. Knock, knock. Exactly. I'm a dad. I'm a dad. I got more. How's the other one? Anybody else have a joke? Yeah, please.
Guy asks, says Roshi, does a cow have Buddha nature? Roshi says, ask the cow. The cow says, moo.
Okay, I like it. Cow says moo. Muda nature. Do you have one of those here?
Yeah. This one actually got said to the Dalai Lama and he didn't get it. Buddhist monk walks into a pizza joint and says, maybe one with everything.
The Dalai Lama didn't get that. Bro needs to fucking wake up, man. He's still sleeping. All right, I think we got it. Hello. All right. Katie, thank you for coming to my rescue so quick. God damn. A lot of things wouldn't get done without Katie, I tell you that right now. Hey. All right. Thanks for the jokes, yo. Thanks for your patience. But I love the question of what are our desires? You know, we come here for there's a searching. You know, there's a searching. And I feel like, you know, there can be a lot of suffering in the searching, but there's a healthy sense of desire too, right? But it's that desire when it becomes suffering is when there's I feel a fixed outcome, right? Like I'm going to do A and B is definitely going to happen. And I don't know if you've been practicing for that long, but if your experience is like mine, that's not usually what happens. Sometimes there's nice bliss, there's peace, and all the desires that I come to a group to achieve, but mostly it's connection. And the more I come, the more we keep showing up for ourselves. These desires, actually, it's like a North Star. And there's practices and there's trainings and there's just showing up, coming through the door that lead us, and these desires just kind of arise. You know, not a big, for me at least, not a big like, oh my God, I have one with everything, you know. But there's definitely moments like, wow, I feel more connected. Especially coming to a meditation group when we're all practicing together and we have this common purpose to be free, to have a little bit ease. I bet everybody that named their desire, everybody else would be like, oh yeah, me too. I want that one. You know, there's a commonality in it. I was reflecting on what to speak on tonight, and it was a little bit about like that, like, you know, that what drives us. And a lot of times I've seen a lot of suffering in myself around this grasping at something with my practice and needing to know everything. And okay, it's this practice, that practice, you know, and really getting tangled up into better, more, needing to be the best meditator ever. And so sometimes, you know, I kind of squash that to try to like, not to, you know, I try to make it a little more broad here, right? So you don't have to suffer the ways that I've suffered, but you're still going to suffer in other ways. But at the same time, that yes, there is a purpose. There is a reason that we're here, right? We want to feel a little bit more free. And again, just by coming through the doors, that's happening. In this quest, you see how this works. But so I was sick last week. Me and my son were sick, so we were just all week. I was telling some friends that we're like, and my kid's 14, I'm 55, but we are like college roommates. We were upstairs, and my wife was downstairs, so we were quarantined, but we were just like yelling at each other, like, "What do you want to eat? I don't know, what are you ordering?" And like, just everything thrashed. It's kind of rad. That was the beautiful part of it. But I was getting to binge a lot of Netflix and a lot of stuff. But I came across this show, and I don't know if y'all have seen this show. It's on HBO Max, I think. But the 100-Foot Wave. Anybody seen that? You seen it a little bit? Hmm? Yes. These surfers are on this quest for this 100-foot wave, and you know, it was and yeah, it landed them in Portugal, and you know, they're getting pretty close. I'm still in it right now, but you know, I'm just watching this, and it's really inspiring in so many different ways. But one thing that was inspiring me was this quest for connection is really what was happening for them. It felt like to me. You know, the ego is definitely involved by kind of what I was saying, even this quest of being the best meditator. They wanted the best way. But when you come down to the surfing, it was this connection that these people were getting, you know. And I was like, wow, what a metaphor for surfing this wave of the life, right? We're on this quest for more peace, maybe with our practice. And how much practice and training it takes to get to that place. Just even to, you know, I don't know if is there any surfers in here? Anybody that's If I'm bringing in some Santa Cruz local shit, I'm sorry. If I'm bringing in I don't surf much anymore. But just learning how to surf is a mission. It's a lot of work. Learning how to meditate is a mission. It's a lot of work. Yeah. So just learning how to surf, learning how to meditate, wherever you're at in your practice. The board is our breath or our anchor, whatever. We jump in the ocean and we're paddling and we're getting slammed by waves, getting slammed by life, getting thrown off our board. We come back to the breath, we grab our board, we keep paddling. And the simplest that form of it is just getting out there. Getting out past the breakers is the hardest part. So this practice of coming back to our breath, coming back to the moment, every time the mind is throwing us into past, future, it's a lot. We're getting thrashed. But eventually we get past the breakers and there's calm, there's peace, there's ease, there's sharks. So there's worry, there's doubt, it's just such a metaphor for our practice, right? So we're in this ease, and then all of a sudden it's like, whoa, where's this fucking emotion coming from? I haven't felt you in a long time. And Jack Kornfield, I think him and a couple teachers, but I think I've heard Jack Kornfield say it before. He's like, we can't get rid of the waves of emotions, can't stop them from happening, but we can learn how to surf them. And I'm like, fuck yeah, dude. And I think that's what the practice is about, is being with, calming the nervous system for sure. That's the beginning of our practice. And I work with a lot of people and I see this happen a lot, where we get to a point in our practice where the calming the nervous system is awesome and it's working, especially in the beginning, and it's new and it's exciting. But then over time, it's like, that it doesn't go away, but there is a point in our practice where there is spaciousness and the sharks come to feed because there's trust, that there's trust in yourself that we don't even really notice, but the nervous system does. The past things that need to be seen and held, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I need some attention here. And I'm talking about emotion, big emotions that maybe we've been escaping for a long time. They show up in our practice. But we're like, no, back to the breath. Where's that peace? Where's that ease? And it's a big percentage of people that's like, I lost it. I'm included in this story. Like, I've lost my meditation. I'm just suffering so much, until I turn towards those thoughts and emotions with curiosity and met them with compassion. So I think maybe this is the part where, okay, just sitting out there beyond the breakers, they'll learn how to surf. So we're going for that 100-foot wave. The metaphor, I'm just going to kind of stick with it. I'm working on it, so just bear with me, y'all. But these surfers train, they practice so much. They're training so much. There's so much effort that goes into it. It's not just about paddling out to these 80-foot waves. A lot of different workouts. But then when they're on that wave, they're just surfing it. They're not like, oh shit, I gotta do a bunch of squats before I get on this wave, right? It's just happening. So when we're learning these practices, it's getting that muscle memory. So when the big wave of life out there happens, as it does, that we're learning to just respond rather than, oh shit, where's my breath? Where's the feet? What did Joe say in that group? Fuck you, traffic. Why so much construction right now? It was my story yesterday. Like coming off the mountain yesterday was pretty tragic for me. It was like, this is overwhelming. It's a lot of traffic. But we learn to respond. And the thing about when these surfers are on this wave, they're so in the moment. You have to be in the moment. You have to be. If they're thinking one moment ahead or one moment behind, they go down. They go down and they get thrashed. And thrashed in that, white water. But even if they are in the moment, and this is another metaphor for us, it's for me, for us, is that even when we are in the moment, when we're nailing our practice, feel good, there's still causes and conditions out there. There's still traffic. There's still relationship. There's still life. So you're in the moment, you're surfing the wave of life, and there's a little ripple in the bottom or something, or the lip just crashes a certain way and you go down anyway, right? Causes and conditions. So our practice teaches us just to respond. So when we're doing that big old wipeout, and this is the biggest thing when getting held under, what do they say to do? And most of the surfers, what are you supposed to do when you're getting pounded under the white water? Relax. What happens if you fight it? Yeah. You resist it, you're just going to go down. So the same thing, right? So it's not to resist in a complacent way, it's to be more malleable. You know, and when finally pop up, it's like, holy shit, you know, and they recover. Some of them have, some wounds they need to heal because, got pretty thrashed. I don't know if this metaphor is working for you all, but I like to think about it this way. It really helps me think about the practice of more of a practical way. It's like, we don't have to surf, but it's that same thing of it takes a little bit of effort. It takes practice. Yeah. White water right there. Could have got pulled under in that one. My relationship to the discomfort, wanting it a certain way. But the beautiful thing is even when a practice, if we think about this metaphor of this big old 80-foot wave that these dudes are surfing, when we're surfing this waves of life out there, and it's fucking scary. It's hella scary. It's hella exciting too. And it's beautiful. It's connecting. So we have a healthy sense of fear. We have a healthy sense of doubt. All these emotions that are arising, they're telling us something. If we pay attention, and then we connect. We connect with the beauty that is here, with the pain and the fear and all the worry that is here too. There's both. And when we, like last week, I was sick, I was suffering, and I was really disappointed. And I was resisting it. And then when I surrendered, it's kind of like, all right, here we are. It's like, my body, my mind, my nervous system really needed this. And then arose the connection with my kid and being playful, sick, playful. It's like those kind of things can show up in our life. But it's not without the discomfort. So our practice is teaching us to be with and investigate, to be curious of everything that is arising. So we come here tonight, maybe to be inspired, to learn some tools that we can practice this coming back to the moment. It's a practice. The mind is going to think. The mind is going to drift. we're going to get stuck in emotion. But right now we can just name it and come back. What is happening right now? Feet are on the ground, body's in the seat. This is the breath coming in. This is the breath going out. And we're retraining the mind. We're training the mind to get back to its default of rest so that we can also be with the stress, because life is stressful. But if it's one stress upon another stress upon another stress, we're going to be held under. So there's a sense of surrender. And again, not in a complacent way, but surrendering to the moment, to being with. So wherever we're at on our practice, whether we're just learning to paddle out, we're just learning to sit with what is, bringing our awareness back to the breath or the feet, the seat, the sounds over and over again. Beautiful. Be there. If you're at a place in your practice where you've had some peace, but all of a sudden there's just thoughts and emotions coming up, ones that you thought you fixed or figured out a long time ago through your practice, they're arising, maybe you can turn towards those a little bit. Meet them with some compassion. Meet it with some wisdom. What are they saying? Usually they're just saying, I just want to be seen and held. Not fixed, not figured out. Right? So curiosity is the key. You know, when I'm offering stuff here at a drop-in group, you know, it's like, I think the main intention here is for us just to connect and practice and maybe have a little break in our day. Beautiful. There's a lot of power I feel in with people practicing meditation together, right? First, it's, you know, meeting with community for sure on the outside. But then, you know, if you want to get a little woo-woo with it, I will. There's a collective consciousness when we're practicing together that connects as well. There's like this inner community that is really palatable in communities of folks that are really dedicated. And I feel that here. You know, so whatever your experience is, something is happening and it's beautiful. But the inspiration here with this practice and the training is to keep going. And it doesn't have to be just like, okay, this is the checklist I did Thursday night. I did my meditation. Keep being curious. Get to know every part, even the parts that you don't want to be here, even the parts that didn't want you to be in this room, right? Because those are just wanting attention too. And that's what makes us whole. You know, we don't need to like the way we feel, but we can learn not to hate it by just giving it some space, letting it rise and pass, seeing what it has to say. So this is the practice, and the training is the effort that you put in. And if this is the time that you're meditating each week, that's beautiful too. You know, this is the time that you have, beautiful, right? So it's just meeting yourself right where you're at. That's the hard part, I think. It was the hard part for me. I really am like, you know, and I think it's just, it can be a cultural thing, or just here in the West of like achieving, right? We want to achieve. And even those surfers and searching for that fucking 100-foot wave, they were getting some beautiful, it was beautiful, some of the connection, but some of them were still disappointed because it wasn't big enough, right? It's like, damn, man, I would love to do that. There's no way I would, but right? That was amazing, you know? So I even bet this, that you're doing better than you can even imagine. Just by showing up here on a Thursday night, you know, there's a lot of other things you could do. So you're doing better than you can even imagine. And keep going. You know, there's a lot of healing that is here just waiting for you. Because all the goodness, all the searching, all the things that we're searching for are right here. Not just in this room, but right there. Within you. That's the scary part, right? There's nothing outside of us. It's just right here. And we find that in the moment. But we got to go through a lot of bullshit, letting go of a lot of layers. So it takes some time, patience, curiosity. Paddle out, y'all. And if an emotion comes up, see if you can cowabunga that thing. Yeah. I'm just really happy to be here. And this is what's kind of hope that I really refine that analogy, but I like it. I really do. You know, I like making this practice as simple as possible for us. Because for me, I think a lot of us can make it way more complicated than it is. You know, so if the metaphor works, cool. No, it's okay. It really helps me, like these visuals. You know? And what kind of had me, I wanted to do a practice tonight. Then you know, the thinking of the waves and the beauty of the ocean was really what drew me to that. You know, I always wanted to be a surfer. I thought it was the coolest thing, but I could never do it that good. I could surf okay, but I really love the ocean. Anybody else like the ocean? And it's like, I don't like the calm ocean. I do like it. I like when the waves are crashing on the rocks. There's such power in them, you know? And there's a practice in the Buddhist tradition of reflecting on the elements, in our practice, in our meditation, and reflect on these elements, right? Heat, water, air, earth, and reflect on these elements that create this world, this earth, that are the same elements in this body. So there's this connection. There's no separate. There's nothing separate. There's an ultimate reality that we can start tapping into here. And it's beautiful. And there's also a relative reality that we do not want to dismiss. The relative reality that I am treated different than you because of sex, race, gender, ... class, social standing. So we don't dismiss relative reality, but we dance in the middle of both. We connect with the ultimate reality of there's no separateness. We're all one, brother. True, totally. But there is a relative reality here that we cannot dismiss, right? But here we get to practice both because there is a beauty of that connection. There's a deeper understanding. There's a deeper trust. There's a deeper freeing, you know, away from I, me, and mine and identifying. Just for a moment. Yeah. Yeah. So tonight I wanted to offer that practice in our formal meditation practice of just reflecting on the elements. But we'll do some basic, just training our mind to just come back to right here. And that's through the mind's going to think, we notice it, and we come back to the feet, the seat, the sounds, the breath. And I refer, and maybe you've heard me or another teacher refer to these places as an anchor. Now, I'm not saying anger, because people have said I could say, keep returning to your anchors. Like, why do you want me to return to my anchor? I wasn't saying that, but how was that for you? It actually happened in a group. And the person it was actually pretty good because it kind of like subsided. But even that, anger is not a bad emotion, right? It's like we investigate it. But I am saying anchor. So the breath, a coming home place, an anchor, a place just to come back to when the mind is drifting into some story that, yeah, it's not right now. Just be here, right? Or if there is some investigation of an emotion that's coming up and you got enough spaciousness to be curious about it, we have the anchor to know that it's there. So if it's getting too much, we come back to that. We open our eyes, we come back to the breath, we move if we need to. You know, you don't have to bear through any difficult thing. And see how much you can stay with that discomfort. Maybe it's just one more breath, you know, come out of it like a yoga pose, like thinking about it, like there's something difficult coming up. Okay, I see it. You know, you want to rest there for a moment and then come out of it. And then maybe next time you can go a little bit deeper. So the anchor or the coming home place is to not get stuck in the suck of experience or drift off too far to story la la land. Because the freedom is in the presence. It's right here. Sound fun, y'all? And you get to have your own experience. How's that? Yay. Everything I'm offering here is all suggestive.